If you've been drawn to astral projection, lucid dreams, or energy travel, this is your wake-up call. I really want to talk about this because I feel like there is a movement kind of going on, right? Where many people are waking up onto their journeys and we're finding different spiritual teachers or gurus on our journeys. And many times, a lot of people do work in the goodness of their heart and try to wake you up and propel you into having higher vibrations and higher frequency, right? And coming back to love. But many times people can be still people and be misinformed about certain situations, certain modalities, the way to operate. And really not enough people are talking about the dangers of the astral realm, the dangers of traveling with your energy and going up to these areas. And I think with New Age, many times those teachers aren't really aware of what is actually kind of going on or what has been going on since ancient times. The astral realm is really great, and I don't want to put fear in anybody. I instead want to give you knowledge. I want to make you feel more empowered and make more of a wise decision when we decide to travel into these interdimensional realms. And the reason being is because there are entities and beings up there that don't always have your best interest in heart. If you do not know what you are doing and you decide to travel up there, you have a very good chance of encountering beings or entities that are up to no good, that want to attach to you and come back and want to come to the 3D reality. They want to feed off of negative emotions. They want to feed off of psychic energy and imply psychic attacks on people and yourself. There are many different reasons of why these being entities that are always for your highest good want to come in and mess with you. And I'm not going to dive too deep into what can kind of happen, but just know that we need to really go in there with a sense of being strong psychically. We need to go in there with a sense of being in our power, and we need to know that this is a very real problem. And all of this is to say is that I used to astral travel almost every single night. It was a great place at that time to meet my twin flame, to be able to have conversations, to learn from other masters, and to do all of that. But I soon came to realize that everybody up there wasn't for my highest good, and actually can impersonate and mimic people that you thought you were going to meet. I don't know if that's making sense. If it does for you, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's almost like if you watched any scary, like The Haunting. There used to be a show called The Haunting on TV, and you would talk about ghost stories, right? And we talk about being haunted and seeing somebody in the house, like a ghost would impersonate somebody else living in the house, right? To try to lure you places, or mimic a voice to try to lure you somewhere. And that's very real in this case as well, except you're in the astral realm And I have had other people that I have worked with in the past who have also encountered entities actually attaching to them, and I had to do some work to detach that entity and to send it back to where it came from. So these are very real possibilities. Now, you may say, hey, I've gone up there and I haven't had these issues, and that's wonderful. Maybe you know what you're doing, or you've carried that knowledge from the past, but also just be weary and just be aware when you are up there. And always, always, always trust your intuition, your internal guidance system, because that's even working when you're up there. And I know so many people, they're like, man, I want to astral project so bad. And it's like, okay, I get it. And it can be such a wonderful experience, but we also need to be cautious, and we need to be aware, and we need to be psychically strong to be able to go up there. It's just not meant for everybody to really dally. So what are some signs maybe that, you've gone up there and maybe you don't remember that you've gone up there, or, you don't know if you encountered something, or something that maybe is attached to you. You wake up and you just feel like beat up, like you just went to war, and you wake up and you're just achy all over. You feel like you did like an intense workout. You're just like out of breath. You're like filled with sweat. You're just so achy. You're so fatigued and tired. And that to me is always a clear sign. Now, some of us may wake up like that because some of us are going up to the astral realm to help protect others, especially with the mass awakening happening on Earth. There may be beings and entities that exist that do not want others to wake up. They don't want humanity to move forward and, gain more consciousness and go into Christ consciousness and become more aligned with their authentic self. And so there are beings of us that are going up there to fight the good fight up there, right? And to help others wake up. And so whether we're aware of that or not, sometimes that can be the case. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer in there. Other times, you may wake up and you feel, another sign is that you may wake up and you may feel like really low vibrational. All of a sudden, you feel depressed, sad, just caught up in these lower vibrational feelings, and you're not really sure why that is. Another one is that you feel very ungrounded. You feel like there is a detachment kind of going on, right? Kind of like you're in between realms. And so you're not fully settled into your body. And that's because you did, lucid dream or astral project the night before. And you need to kind of come back into your body and ground yourself. And so those are just, a few things that you can look for of whether or not you think that you may have astral traveled or not, or that maybe potentially an entity has attached to you. And I'm not saying that that's the case every time, so you'll want to make myself perfectly clear there that you need to use discernment on this. And if you do believe that you have had an entity attached to you, I would seek shamanic guidance immediately so that the shaman can remove that entity from your body and your field, and so that you can go back to living a normal life. Now you may be asking, okay, Well, I don't know that I astral project or energy travel. I had no idea, and I don't really want to do that. I hear what you're saying. I don't feel like I should be going up to the astral realm. How can I kind of stop that from happening as I continue to kind of go on my path until I develop the skills that is needed where I won't be doing that? So a few things that you can do is we want to make sure on a daily basis that we are doing an energy cleansing. That to me is number one. We want to clear the dark, heavy energy from our bodies on a daily basis. And you can imagine it a few different ways. You can imagine a golden shower kind of coming down from the heavens and kind of going through your body and going down into the earth. And we're going to keep doing that until our body feels clear. And you can do that multiple times per day. Another great tool is we want to make sure that we are also grounding ourselves on a daily basis. Grounding ourselves is pivotal because it makes us connected to the earth, to the 3D reality, to, where we are currently living. Okay? We need to make sure that we have connection to the earth. If not, we can then become fragmented. And fragmentation is a whole nother deal. Maybe I'll make a video about that sometime, where, you're kind of in between dimensions and worlds, and now all of a sudden you're fragmented across these different dimensions, and it's not a fun place to be. And so that's where I said too, where you wake up and you kind of feel like you're here, but you're not here, right? We want to make sure that we are still here on this earth, okay? And then another great thing we can do is that we can imagine ourselves in a golden light bubble, and we put that around ourselves every single night. That way, we don't travel up to the astral world, and nothing from the astral realm can then come down and attach themselves to us, like astral spiders or anything of that nature. Okay, and so we want to make sure that we are protecting ourselves at all time. We are grounding ourselves at all time. We are clearing the negative energy out of our bodies every single day without question. These things need to happen because that is how you become psychically strong. That is how you become powerful. Is these little exercises, and you probably have your own. And if you do, I'd love to hear about them. And we can then learn how to take these things, become psychically strong, become powerful, and really stand in who we are. And really be so fit mentally and physically and spiritually that nothing can touch us. Okay, so these are just a few things. And maybe you also have some symbols you might work with that have maybe come to you, or that you've come up on your own, or your guides have shown you. Use your symbols as well. That's always really great. Okay, so we've come up with a few things, and now you're beginning to maybe understand why we need to protect ourselves when it comes to going into the astral realm. Now, let's say I do want to go up into the astral realm and I want to hang out there, but I want to meet certain beings. You need to create up there. So if you can imagine a long hallway, or maybe even like a skyscraper. In the skyscraper, there's many different floors, and on those floors is many different rooms, okay? And in those rooms, there's different people, right? Typically. And you can go into those different rooms, and they're going to have, accounting. They're going to have, the custodians. They're going to have the mail room, whatever it is. And you're going to maybe work with your guides, or you decide on your own, the room in which you want to meet in. And you need to create a space up in the astral realm to where you can meet with the beings that you wish to interact with up there. And that will be your space, your safe haven, your protected area, to where nothing else can kind of penetrate it, nothing else can kind of come in. And that will be perfect for you, whatever it is. And so because I'm not going to give you like an area to do or to meet in, because I think everybody's imagination is different, and what you come up with is perfect for you. Because if we just go up there, any room can create itself, right? And then you can go into any room and then you don't know what's in there, and you don't know who made it, and you know what I mean? What energy is kind of lurking in there. That way, when you make your own, it's your own energy, and maybe you co-create that with the being that you're meeting, or in creating with. So that would just be my suggestion. And you could create multiple rooms as well. So you can create a room for that being and that being and that being, or you could create a room where you don't interact with anybody and it's just for you. Okay. So we're creating all these different rooms. So all this to say is that please be careful when you go up into the astral realm, when you energy travel, when you lucid dream, and just be aware and just trust yourself and be psychically in tune and stand in your business and stand in your power. And when you do all of that, you should be safe, and practice those exercises that I taught you. And if you don't want to go up there at all, practice the other exercises that I taught you. And you should be safe and ready to go. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.